It's Atlanta's #1 hip-hop station, Hot 107.9 at home for the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. Of course, you know it's your folk, B-High. Radio, shout it, man. Stepping in the building, I got another A-Town player in this thing. I mean, you might catch some of his work in some of the biggest publications from Billboard all the way down to doggone Rolling Out. My dog, Maurice Garland in the building. What's good with it, boss?
B-High, what's happening, man?
I mean, tell me something good, man. I mean, speaking of the right, man, this book right here, going crazy in the streets, the art behind the mixtape. How did you get involved with it, man? My boy Brill had been telling me about it. I mean, DJ Mars, I mean, y'all just got together and made a monster with this.
Oh, yeah, man. All shouts out to DJ Mars, man. That's his baby, man. It's like the book, the idea had already been like in the works for years. Like it just came out last Halloween. Okay. But I mean, the book was already like a 6 to 7 year process. You know, we had the idea for a while back then, but you know, all the stars weren't aligning. But you know, we all came back together when everything made sense. When the timing was right as well, because you know we interviewed like 90 DJs in there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's hard to track down 90 people. You know what I'm saying?
I already know.
You know, so some folks get busy, some people just say no at first. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, everything started aligning up for real, man. And like we came back to the idea about 2 years ago. Yeah. Because you know we started off we did like a Kickstarter campaign. We got a lot of support through that. We had some sponsors come in. And all the balls just started rolling, man. And you know, we put in like a good, year and a half worth of real labor as far as, like the writing, the editing, the laying out, and everything like that into the book. And then it finally dropped, last Halloween. And like we're actually on our second printing now, man. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got the blue tape version right there. The first version was like the gray tape.
Okay,
So that's the second edition right there, man.
Yeah. I can definitely dig that. I mean, what were some of the things that you learned writing that book that you didn't know about from the mixtape game?
Man, I didn't know that folks like Kid Capri was making $100 a pop off mixtapes back in the 80s. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? Like selling them to the dope boys. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know that. Yeah. I knew that they were getting money, but he was like, yeah, I was getting like $100 a pop off a tape. I was like, $100? I mean, folks ain't getting $100 off a pop off a mixtape now.
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, man.
You know what I'm saying? So like seeing that, and then learning the ways and seeing the ways that cats like DJ Clue would go about getting their exclusive tracks and things like that, man. Yeah. Because me, I'm well read on hip hop culture, and I write about it for a living.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But like through being involved in that book, man, it was definitely a learning experience for me as well, man.
Okay. Being a writer, man, an urban writer on top of that, man, what was it like getting into the game for you, man? Because it's not a lot of us that I know that are as popular as you as far as writing and getting into publications and things like that. How did you get into writing?
You know what, man? The crazy thing is, sitting in this studio right now, it's kind of like a 360, man, because it actually started here. It started at Hot when it was 97.5. I used to be an intern here. Yeah. And the crazy thing about it is, like, my intern class, it was like me, DJ Sense, Miss Shanika was interning with me. E.T. came in around the same time as me. So it's like, it started here, so it's like the intern thing, it was cool. But interning mean working for free. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, when I graduated, I went to Fort Valley State University. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when I graduated, I was like, yo, man, I'm in the real world now. Yeah. I gotta find $1 somewhere. And, by this time, like I was, I had worked my way up from, interning in promotions to running the boards to then I started dibbling and dabbling with the sales department. Yeah. And I asked my homegirl Kim Hutchins, who used to be a salesperson here back then. I was like, yo, man, like, I know how to write, too, because, I write for the school paper at my college. Yeah. You know anybody in the publication game? She was like, yeah, man, I know Munson Steve, the guy that owns Rolling Out magazine. I was like, all right, cool. And, I went over there, showed them my portfolio. I was like, yeah, man, I'll do this, I've done that. And they're like, all right, cool, man, we'll give you a shot. We ain't going to pay you yet either. You know what I'm saying? They're like, we want you to write, 10 articles for free, and then we'll... I'm like, 10 articles for free, bruh. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I wrote 5, and then this is how crazy things work, man. It's like, around that time, like everybody quit. Like, there was a mass walking out. Damn near, the whole writing staff quit. And so I heard about that. I was like, oh, I know they hiring now. There ain't nobody over there. Exactly. So I hit them all like, yo, that's pretty much what I said. Like, I know y'all hiring now. What's up? Exactly. And so they called me in for an interview. We had the job interview on a Tuesday. Yeah. And it was like, yeah, you got it if you want it. When can you start? And I'm all eager. I'm like, I can start tomorrow, bro.
Exactly.
Like, all right, cool. We need you to go to Cleveland, Ohio in the morning. So just pack a bag, meet us at the airport around 7:30 in the morning, and you're gonna be on a flight to Cleveland. I was like, I don't get a desk, I don't get to meet anybody at work here. No, we'll figure that out, when you come back. We need to go cover this conference and interview all these people and come back with 20 stories and this, that, and the other. So I got thrown to the wolves immediately. So that's how I actually got in the game, man. From interning here. And, my homegirl Kim Hutchins, hooking me up with Munson and them at Rolling Out, and the ball just been rolling from there, man.
What were some of your favorite publications to write for, and what were some of your favorite stories and topics to cover?
Well, I mean, hands down, one of my favorite experiences was, being the music editor and features editor at Ozone magazine. You just had Julia in here talking about the Pimp C book. You know what I'm saying? That hands down was one of my favorite experiences because, I mean, I was writing about the things that, I was already listening to anyway. The things that kind of shaped me into who I was, and I'm getting to tell these stories to everybody else.
I hate to cut you off, but folks don't understand as a writer, you're not just telling their story. You telling your story at the same damn time. But I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I'm interviewing people. I was like, well, I got all your CDs in my CD book, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I already know about it, So it's like, it was great being able to share those stories and, and also show that, down south, we always had talent, and it might not have gotten, the love all the time, but, we was always rocking down here, man, and being able to share a lot of these stories early. I was the first person to interview Young Dro. You know what I'm saying? I was the first person to write a cover story on Pastor Troy. You know what I'm saying? Who else did I holler at up there, man? It was a lot of people, man. It was a lot of, first that I wrote for that publication that, when these guys, went on to do greater things, you know what I'm saying? And even, my experiences from working there, writing for, the Vibes and the XXL, same thing, because, they were anxious to know what was going on in the South, but they didn't have anybody down here, for real. They would send writers down, but it's like they didn't know who to talk to, where to go, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I showed them, look, I'm the plug now. I know what's going on, so I got to write a lot of the first profiles on people like D4L, and, folks like that. Even Janelle Monáe, people like that too, man. I was the first person to write a nationally published article on Janelle Monáe. You know what I'm saying? So it's I got to experience, writing a lot of first, coming up, man.
I mean, out of those people that you were interviewed, who were some of your favorite people to talk to, and what were some of the hardest interviews that you caught yourself having to do?
I mean, to this day, and this dude actually became one of my partners in the process, man. Killer Mike, man. It's the first time I interviewed Killer Mike, I already liked all his music. I ain't know him like that. And I knew he was pretty intelligent. I just knew he was hard on the mic. And I was when I got to talk to him, I was man, this dude is just the smartest rapper I've ever talked to, bro. You know what I'm saying? Well versed in every subject. And it's so, and to this day, he's still one of my favorite people to interview. The hardest interview, the funny thing is, this is a lot of people's favorite person to interview now, but he was not a favorite back then, was Webby. You know what I'm saying? When Webby first came out, when he was fresh out, you can ask that dude a question, he'd give you a one-word answer, or no answer at all, or he forget what he's talking about while he's giving you the answer. And I was like, what's wrong with this dude? But now, everybody want to talk to Webby because, he done grew into talking, in public and to the media. He's comfortable now. But, back when, Give Me That was out, man, nobody wanted to interview dude. That's why it's if you go back and read a lot of his old articles, there's no quotes from him. It's just the writer making up stuff. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no quotes from him because he ain't give nobody nothing. So he's interviewing him back in the day was pulling teeth, man. That was a hard one.
I can definitely dig that. Now, Maurice.
Yeah.
As an Atlanta apologist, man, tell me how you done seen the city grow, man, from the time you first jumped in the game till now, man. And what do you think about the changes?
I mean, it has grown exponentially, man, because, I mean, when I first started writing about music here, it was being covered, but it wasn't really being covered beyond Outkast, really.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was if you weren't Outkast, it's you really didn't get a lot of love in the media at all. As far as rap now, if you was Usher and, all that, you were straight. But, as far as the rap side, man, there wasn't a lot of eyes on the city like that. And, and then, I was around when, the crunk stuff started happening and everything like that, and things got more popular. And then, of course, folks like Jeezy and T.I. started coming out. So I was around, to capture and cover all that for a lot of publications, man. So it's I got to see it grow. And, to see where it's at now, it's I saw it back then. I was eventually, this city's gonna be on top of everything, and it's never gonna let it go.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause
Yeah.
I mean, whether you like all the music that's coming out the city right now, it's like it's the most prominent. You go to any city in the world, Atlanta is all over the radio.
Yeah.
Atlanta's all over the TV.
Yeah.
Atlanta's all over the mixtape websites. Like, it's everywhere. So, I mean, like, I've seen it grow a lot, and I think it's going to continue to grow. You know, of course, you know, growing up in the era that I did, you know, I want to hear a little bit more, you know, substance and content in the music, you know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody kind of like, you know, partying and drugging right now, you know, there's a time and a place for that, you know, but I mean, like, it's growing, and I'm proud to see it keep growing. I'm proud to see how the city, for the most part, still respects the elders as well. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you still see folks, you know, saluting folks like Big Gilt when he in the street, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm not sure if they gave him all of his credit, but you know, you see people
still got some
like,
more work to do.
Right,
they still got some more work to do, because them folks, they put it down, man. And folks, I don't think they really understand what I mean when they say they put it down. You see what I'm saying? They laid it down brick by brick. But one thing, another thing that I like to say though, Maurice, coming up as a young journalist myself, you was one of the main folks up there in front of me where I could say, okay, he black, he from the city, and he's actually working. So I could kind of use that as a blueprint to follow for what I was about to do. What do you think about the local participation in the media itself, and how do you think you could get other young black males from the APS to get involved in what we're doing right now?
You know what, man? I think it's a thing. Well, I mean, one, you know, like, communication is key, because there's a lot of guys, you know, that are a lot of youngsters that are in this city. Like, when they see, you know, the rap industry or the music industry, they think that's the only way in. Like, I have to rap, I have to make beats, I have to DJ or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to be the entertainer. But that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? When you look at, you know, the music industry as a whole, like, the entertainers don't make up most of the population. You know, it's the people in the media, it's the check writers, it's the, you know, the people that are behind the scenes that make everything go. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think, you know, we can knock, like, it's funny because I'm actually getting involved with a program here where it's like I'm going to be able to, like, teach teens how to get into journalism and everything like that. Cause I think that's what I'm going to do with, like, you know, the next chapters of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, teaching the youngsters how to get in on this side of the field. Because it's important that, you know, we tell our own stories. You know, because it's like, I mean, you see all that monkey stuff they were saying about, you know, the Straight Outta Compton movie on CNN. You know, oh wow, movie comes out and nobody gets shot. Like, like that's a non-story, bro.
And I mean, we ain't the ones that shooting each other up in the movie
either.
Exactly.
You know, so it's very important that we, you know, that we tell our own stories. You know, because everything has a context. You know, because I mean, I always remember, you know, when they put like OJ the Juice Man on that XXL freshman cover that time, and it's like, you know, they had the show and he was up there rapping, everybody was booing, like, boo, boo, boo. And it's like, they don't understand, you know, they literally did not understand what he was saying, but they don't understand, like, what he represented, where he came from. It's like, bro, he had people backing him. Like, he was speaking for a certain population. Like, he is relevant. Like, you know, you just can't just be booing the man because you don't like it or you don't know it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's important for folks from the city, like, to tell our stories in certain contexts so that, you know, the points get across and they're presented the right way.
Exactly. I mean, I look at people like Master P. Well, Master P has never been done again since him.
No.
Yet he still ain't really getting the credit that he deserved for really breaking down the walls and showing folks how to get money in this game. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, once again, man, it's about, you know, controlling your own stories, man. Because, I mean, you know, for Atlanta to be a place where, or the South, period, for us to, like, be producing the most relevant music over the last, you know, 15, maybe 20 years, you know, our stories still aren't being told correctly. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know, for real, it's like, this is one thing I saw at Ozone. Like, you know, unfortunately, like, Ozone is no longer in, you know, circulation. But it's like, what happens sometimes is, you know, we start telling our own stories when nobody cares. And then when it gets, you know, big enough or relevant enough, the bigger corporations, you know, the media from New York and LA, they come in and be like, okay, cool, we're going to start talking about it. And then it's like, you know, they take over the narrative. And then sometimes, you know, the cats from that we help build up, they allow them to take the narrative. Like, oh man, I ain't got time for y'all anymore, man. You know, Rolling Stone calling me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it happens on both sides. But it's like we have to stick to, you know, presenting our stories and telling our stories. You know what I'm saying?
How do you think we can prevent from that from happening? Because at the end of the day, relevancy is what we all need and what we have to sustain in this game. How can we stay relevant and our stories not get watered down at the same time?
Sometimes we have to, we have to grow with the artist, and we have to continue to support them, even when it might not be jamming like that no more. You know what I'm saying? It's like you just can't, throw them to the wayside, because that's what happens a lot of times in other regions. It's like, we're getting to a place now where, quote unquote old school hip hop is being respected because, the listeners are older, so that they're enjoying the old school stations, and they're wanting to see certain things and see them on tour. But like for a minute, man, it's like, like New York, they spat out Big Daddy Kane. Like Big Daddy Kane moved to North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Because they weren't showing him any more love in his own city. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we have always done a good job of still like taking care of our own. You know what I'm saying? Like we still going to go out and buy, Ball and G new stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like we still like if it's somebody we grew up on, we still gonna put some kind of ear to it and be like, I'm gonna check this out.
That's right.
Or if we know that they're gonna be in town performing, I'm gonna go to the show. You know what I'm saying? Or like if you got a little cousin that's, going to an HBCU and they're like, man, they bring some dude in here for homecoming. No, man, go buy a ticket, bro. Like, those are the OGs. You know what I'm saying? So like we still do a good job of supporting our own, so it's like we just got to continue to do that, so that we can still control how we look out there, man.
Nah, that ATL Rise, man. I'm trying to watch me a good VH1 documentary, man. And out of nowhere, I see my homie on the TV talking that noise, man. Tell me what that experience was like for you, man.
Man, once again, man, I got to shout out my partner Mike, man, Killer Mike, because he actually hooked me up with those folks, because they interviewed him and they was asking, yo, we need a journalist. I'm like, oh, bro, I got the one for you. You know what I'm saying? So
the
like,
only one. Yeah, you talking about.
So he hooked me up with them, man, and this that experience was great, because like they actually taped my part in Miami. Like the guys that produced the documentary, like they're based in Miami. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they actually like flew me down there to their studio, and we was in there chopping it up, and it's like I even had some input on, because they showed me what they had already, because it wasn't finished by the time they talked to me, but they showed me what they had already, and it's like, they were like, so what do you think about this? I was like, I had to correct them on some things. I was like, well, that ain't MC Shadi Shaw. That's a picture of Sam Sam, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't so-and-so, that ain't DJ Toot, that's DJ Smurf. So y'all might want to switch that out, you know what I'm saying? But it was a dope experience, man, just seeing that come together. And then, when it premiered here, like they had the premiere at the Rialto Theater, and it's like, the guys, they hit me up, they're like, yo, we enjoyed taping you. Do you want to, host a premiere? And I was like, all right, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, because, Andrew Young's going to be there. Cassine Reed's going to be, you got to introduce the mayor. And, then you got to introduce Kilo. I was like, bro, I'm introducing the mayor and Kilo?
In the same night?
In the same night? You know what I'm saying? So, like, that whole experience was great, man. The whole experience was great. And I hope that, more documentaries come after that. You know what I'm saying? Because, because, it's hard to fit all of Atlanta's history into, how long was that thing, like an hour or two, maybe?
An hour and a half. And what do you think about that, man? Because a lot of OGs was a little pissed that they were left out of that story, man.
I feel you, man. It's like I said, it's VH1, so you kind of have to, realize that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, like, they're not known for...
It ain't centric.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not unsung, you know what I'm saying? Like they still have an audience that they're trying to cater to. So it's like, so I can understand how folks like, like for instance, like the young bloods might be like, man, how they just gonna skip over us like that? Which I was kind of like, at least like throw a picture in a song, you know what I'm saying? Throw like 5 seconds of them doing the East Side Stomp song, don't just zoom past it, you know what I'm saying? But it's like when you have to realize like who they're producing it for, you know what I'm saying? So it's like when it gets to network and they're like, so why are we spending 15 minutes talking about this group when we can spend more time talking about that group that sold platinum and this that. It's like you have to like, kind of take that into account, which is why I hope that the documentary inspires people to go out
and make more.
Like I said, control your narratives, tell your own stories. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Now, I know you got the playlist parties, man.
Yeah.
I done seen a little bit of everybody slide through that thing, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah, man, the playlist party, man. It's a party me and my partner Jay Wise do here in Atlanta every Monday at the department store on the corner of Edgewood and Boulevard. And, man, like, we've been doing that party now for a year and some change. Like, initially, it was just an idea to do, like, just a cool night.
Yeah.
Because my partner Jay Wise, like, he knew the dude that owned the club. You know, shout out to Luis. He knew him. And, like, we was just in there kicking it one night on a Monday.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we was, we was, like, swapping some media files. So he had taped something for me, and I was just meeting him to pick up some stuff. And, you know, we got to talking to the owner. He's like, yeah, man, my Monday nights are whack, man. You know, you know any promoters? I need something. And I was just like, man, shoot, just have a party where people can come here and play what they want. Just plug in their phone. It just came out like that.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, cool, let's do it. And so, you know, we went and got a flyer made. You know, shout out to the homie, Mr. Soul. We got a flyer made, did it one night. And people came. Like, it wasn't packed. Like, people came, had a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, all right, cool. So, like, 2 weeks later, we did it again.
Yeah.
And more people came. And then the club owner was like, let's do it every Monday, man. Let's keep this thing going. And it just turned into a snowball.
Exactly.
And then next thing we know, people are asking, can I do my mixtape release party there? Cause like, matter of fact, like the first person that came to us with that, because we weren't even thinking about turning it into like mixtape release parties and nothing like that. But it's like, Scotty ATL, he hollered at us, man. He was like, yo, man, I'm trying to do a mixtape release party, man. I mess with y'all. I want to do it with y'all. So it's like, all right, cool.
Exactly.
And then after that, people saw that. Next thing you know, 2 Chainz and them hitting us up. Ludacris hitting us up. You know what I'm saying? B.O.B. hitting us up like, yo, man, I want to do my mixtape or I'm listening parties there too, man. And, you know, and then, like, you know, we've had guests in there. We've had, you know, folks like Organized Noise coming there and, like, be guests at the party. And they playing all kind of exclusive Dungeon Family stuff that ain't never going to come out.
I'm so sick of them. I'm so sick of them with that. How y'all gonna hold on to that music knowing we need that? Man. They know folks need that and they still trying to hold on to it, man. They need to stop that.
You got the internet, man. Do something with it,
man. Exactly. I hear that a lot with a lot of these different artists across the country. You know, they might say, yeah, I got my Pimp C song. I ain't releasing it, though. I'm keeping it for myself. I got these Tupac songs that I'm just keeping for myself. I ain't nobody going to hear. It's like, no, why you doing that?
I'm assuming it may be a thing where it's like they don't want, you know, lawyers calling them or something. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when folks die, you just start putting out music. Yeah. You start getting them phone calls and them letters like, hey, you owe us this. Hey, you owe us that. So they probably just like, so they're like, hey, I'm just going to. Just come to the house and hear it, bro.
You know exactly. Or I'll come to the playlist part and I'll play. But I'm packing my stuff up and I'm getting the hell out of here with it. Right. I mean, anything else you need to get off your chest, though, Maurice, man?
I mean, like something that we've been talking about the whole time, man. Just make sure we control our narratives, man. Because I mean, you know what I'm saying, I don't want throw too many names out there, but a lot of people got mad about a certain documentary that was done on the city not too long ago. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And folks felt a certain kind of way. And it's like, the thing you have to realize is, the way this media thing works, if you're an artist, especially if you're an artist coming up, man, like, control your narrative. You know what I'm saying? Know who you want to be, know what you want to say, because, folks will make up stuff about you. Yeah. And folks will edit some footage to make you look a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, be consistent, with your own messaging. You know what I'm saying? Know who you want to be, you know what I'm saying, when you out here. And then also, it's like, for folks on our side of the fence, man, we kind of got like link up a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, for Atlanta to be a city where, like, everybody has their eyes on it, like, I think we can be a bigger, media hub.
We can be the media hub.
Right. Because, I mean, so many people come through here just from the airport alone or working in these studios. And a lot of times you won't even know they was here.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? I always remember one time, it's like, this was years ago, but, I was like interviewing Slim Thug one time, and here I am, thinking, he's in town to do a show and do all this media. And he was just like, nah, I just have to be coming through here to go to Savannah, bro, and you're the only person I talk to up here. And I was like, this was like Slim Thug was like popping, you know what I'm saying?
So it's like, how it is, though, because a lot of artists are particular about who they interview with, because you got a lot of people that are trying to hit you with the get you, got you.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And personally, I believe that all media doesn't have to be negative to get some views or to get some play. You see what I'm saying? Just hit folks with the truth or the gospel, and folks equally appreciate that as much as the slander and the crazy stuff too. Sometimes it's just like the news, man. You don't watch the news all the time because you don't feel like being stressed out by the end of that stuff. So when you watch your interview with your favorite artist, You don't want to be stressed out by the end of that, too.
Yeah.
You want to learn something. Say, hey, man, I love that guy, man. You know what?
Yeah.
When I meet him, I'm going to dap him down because I appreciate what he said in that interview.
Right.
And, I mean, for myself, the artists, though, they got to support the folks that support them.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street.
It is.
You see what I'm saying? Like you say, Ozone. You can't go to Rolling Stone instead of Ozone if Ozone is what then gave y'all the platform to get the Rolling Stone.
Right.
And if you know Ozone is going to treat you right, then you need to stick with them and make sure that their platform get as strong as Rolling Stone, so when it's time for you to get cold and you're looking stupid out here, you can go back over there and get that fire back lit.
Right.
Because folks remember.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
And I'm going to just leave it on that note, man. How can they get this book right here, man?
Oh, y'all can go get The Art Behind the Tape at our website, theartbehindthetape.com. You know, it's a book about mixtapes, and we pushing it the mixtape way. You know what I'm saying? Like, we keeping it all the way, 100 on that one, man. Theartbehindthetape.com. You know, if you don't want to buy the book, we got some 5 new era hats for sale on there too, man. You know what I'm saying? The exclusive Art Behind the Tape new era hats up there as well, man. You know, and then also we have a blog on that site too where, we still upload, classic mixtapes for you to go check out in case, you weren't around or into the culture when they drop, man. So, like, theartbehindthetape.com, man.
And you about to let me get out of here without talking about the radio show, though.
Oh,
You really
man.
gonna do that? Tell me about that, too, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Day One Radio. It's on ablradio.com. It's a show that I co-host with 2 other 5 journalists, man.
Yeah.
Brandon Peters, who was, like, the guy that kind of put me on. He's the one that taught me how to, pitch to different magazines and things like that. And so it's me, Brandon Peters, and Nadine Graham, who also writes for publications like Billboard and Revolt and things like that, man. And it's a talk radio show, man. We go in, we've had everybody from Master P to Jermaine Dupri to David Banner. Who else been Tech 9? Like we done had a few folks on there, man. So like you can listen to us, on ablradio.com, and you can also check out our archive in iTunes, man. You can just type in Day One Radio in the podcast, in the iTunes podcast section, man. We up there.
Man, brother.
Man,
appreciate you coming through this thing,
appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, I've been watching all your videos, man. It's like I was already watching them.
Yeah.
But like you killed them with that player fly song. Like you killed them with the fly.
Yeah. I mean, Fly, he came in there ready to talk, man, and we had to get it on. You understand that?
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Wish you nothing but the best and much success.
For sure.
VH1 Radio, shout it. It's out 107.9, man. Let's go.